Hey, it's Laurel, and it's time to check the tables. Hey everybody, this is Laurel from the North Raleigh Seed Library, and apparently Mavis has decided that she is on the floor. Maybe she's on the couch. We're trying to decide where the best place to film would be, and we're waiting on the Queen to make her decision. So anyway, today we are going to talk about houseplants. And I have so many of you that are really into houseplants, and I would love, okay, we're moving to the couch, it appears. I would love to have you come in, or the floor, and text me about talking about houseplants, some of your favorites. I figured that it would be really great if we had houseplant discussions maybe on those days that are rainy. And so for today, or that, weeks that are rainy, that there's nothing at the seed library table, I am in a very precarious position. I want you to know. But if I open the door, she'll scoot out, and then it'll just be the Laurel show, and that would be bad. So anyway, where are you going? Would you settle? So anyway, today we're going to call Gladys. And Gladys is awesome. She is going to talk about house plants that have worked for her. And she's got a lot of experience. And especially she's great at talking about kind of the space that she's in and what works for her. So we're going to give it a whirl. All right, hang on. I'm going to call Gladys. Hello again. It's Laurel. And Mavis has finally found a spot to sit. And you know how it is with us girls. We have the right to change our mind. So today we have an interesting dilemma. Hang on. Can I have just a little bit of space, please? Just a tiny bit of space. Thank you. So today's dilemma is Mike is at work and he took our phone. And me being the technically challenged type, I couldn't figure out how to get a phone call to work from the computer. So I have to do the dial a friend or phone a friend, right? Sometimes, friends are awesome. A real friend comes through for you anytime. And that's the most important thing. So I looked for a couple of paper cups and a string to see if that would work. It didn't work. I tried the computer to call my friend Gladys, and that didn't work. So I decided that I'm going to go back to pioneer times, back in the olden days. Gladys! Gladys! Does it work? How did it work back then? I'm not really sure. Oh, hey. Mavis, come back. We're phoning a friend. Come back. Come sit right here. She's going to do her thing. Hello. Here's Gladys. Yay. And Gladys knows all things. Come here, Mavis. Come here. And Gladys knows all things houseplants. And she's great with houseplants. And she's got some experiences. There you go. Good girl.
All right,
good girl, Mavis. Okay,
thank you.
Okay, come here.
I love that guy.
I love that guy. Okay, so back to houseplants. And because it's a rainy week, we pre-filmed this. And I have to tell you, that it's going to work out just fine, because when it's wet and soggy and nothing's really at the seed library, why not just pull out all the stops and have pre-recorded visits at your yards, pre-recorded visits with your friends, our friends, my friends, to talk about plants. It's our favorite subject, right? Okay, so I want you to let you know that Mavis is doing well. She is here. And she's pouting, so that's just how she's got to roll today. I know, we're talking about you. So, anyway, all right, Gladys, we got stuff to talk about. So, I feel really weird looking this way when you're back there.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's very strange. Do you ever feel like sometimes you've got eyes in the back of your head?
Not always, but I feel like I should.
Okay, let me get up here. We're going to try this again, and we're going to talk about plants just like real. And you guys can watch.
That'll work.
That'll work. Okay, and Mavis is still pouting. Okay, so, ta-da! It's going to work. Oh, wait. It's going to work better if we're closer.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so, tell me kind of about what we were talking about. You've got a smaller area. You have a lot of houseplants, and what do you do?
Well, my houseplants are mainly in one area, which is by the window, around my table, in the dining room area, and some of them are just a little bit further away, like in the kitchen. I get most of my morning light from that window, so I kind of work around it. I move them around. I work from home, so it's me and the plants a lot. And so I water them once a week, trim them whenever they need it, usually about once a month.
I got to interrupt real fast. I got to tell you, remember when I bought all that basil? Well, Gladys just saved it. She's like a plant saver. She's a plant hero. And so she wound up doing a haircut on the basil that I didn't know I needed to do, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just take the heavy tops off and you leave the newer leaves that are coming up, it promotes the growth and lets the light come in, and you get to eat it, and then it gets to grow back.
So mine were kind of dying. They were looking.
You also gotta get all the dead stuff away, because that just sucks water away from where you want it to go, which is the light ones. And it could also promote like root rot, because it stays really wet and it's just dead material. So if you just take like the wet, dead stuff off,
okay.
And that'll help the plant. I mean, you could use it to fertilize another area. Just like
That's a good idea.
Just the organic material. Like if you got a little compost pile, you throw all those stuff in there.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it's basically probably make it smell better than your compost pile, right?
Well, it's making my house smell better, because right now we've got OD dog. So,
OD dog.
So I didn't know that, because I don't do house plants. And the only reason I brought them in is because we had the cold snap, and I have to wait to plant them, so I wasn't really sure how to maintain them. So I invited her over, and we had the worst. We had like ground food, salad, and so
nothing wrong with that.
And so anyway, she put some basil in her salad, and she was telling me how to kind of do that. You know what's weird? It's like when I talk to you like normal, like when I talk, I don't think about my face. And right now I'm thinking about how I'm holding my face. So I'm going to turn around. There, now I'm talking to my friend. Yeah. Now it's real.
It's better. You don't have to check yourself so much.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So tell me about what you were saying about you have memories for your plants. About your
like where they came from and all of that,
and how long you had them and stuff.
Well, there's a lot of plants that I've had that are, if not older, just as old as my grown kids. I used to work at an office that had just the one plant, and it was a small office, so that's really all it needed. But it was just kind of choking on itself. It was a pothos, and it was just already overgrown the pot. And so I just cut some of the little trailers off and took them home, put them in water, let them develop roots. Takes just a couple of weeks. And then I put them in a pot, and I took them to another office that didn't have any plants. And this is, over a couple of years. I used to work at a hospital, and this office had nothing, no natural light. But it grew, we watered it, it had the office lights, and again, I would trim it and take it home and root them, and some of them I made my own. Right now I have a big pot of it, and again, it hasn't grown too much over the winter, but it made it through, and now in the spring, I usually take out my plants and I either repot them every spring if they need it, if they're outgrown their container, and I might feed them. And then after a little while, I trim them, whatever dead ends. If they're too long, I trim them and then just root those. I've given them away as presents because they just keep on giving.
Well, so is it hard? Like, could a beginner do it? A pothos?
No. I mean, you have a pothos and you have all those little trailers, and usually if a trailer, I don't like mine on the floor because you step on them, the dogs can't eat them. So usually if I have something long, I will cut about a piece about this long and then take the last little leaves off. And I'll cut maybe 3 or 4 of those and I'll put them in a bottle with water where the water is always touching those roots. I usually get them in there and then I just put them somewhere where they can get light. As the water evaporates, I keep it refilled, and I could tell you probably in 2 to 3 months at the most, you have roots enough to make like a regular plant, and you just put it in a pot and go from there. And I mean, those first little cuttings have grown into lots of presents, lots of giving away plants. And I still have them.
How many people do you think have Gladys in their house?
Oh, God. At least 20. At least 20 over the years. I'm telling you, that plant is over 20 years old.
Oh, my Lord.
And then, so I have the corn plants you gave me a long time ago because they were just closing an office and they were getting rid of the plants. And you brought me these tall plants. And they were really leggy, so they were top heavy. So what I did is I just cut it and divided it. It was the double one, and I put them in 2 separate pots. No rooting powder, no special preparations, not even fancy dirt, just the dirt I had. I stuck them in there, put stuff to make it nice and shore them up so they wouldn't fall over. And in a matter of weeks, they were just rooted and they kept growing. And those have already given out more plants that I have divided. And so they keep going. So with the corn, basically, I keep it where it can always get light, even if it's from the window. I don't get any direct, because I don't have a yard. It's all my plants are probably in, at the most, 20 square feet. Around the window in different.
That's important because we have so many people that just have a very small area for plants. And I mean, just trying to figure out how to organize it and arrange it is huge.
Yeah. Well, the pots have a lot to do with it. You always want to consider, the right pot. You don't want a little tiny plant in a huge pot that's going to take a lot of place or space and really not do much for that space. Looks just like an empty pot.
So they have to earn the rent.
Basically. Yeah. Well, I mean, the plants kind of give you that sense of freshness and bring the outdoors in and, human eyes like green. And so it's always nice to have it clean your air.
Tell them what you do on Fridays.
So on Fridays.
I like this.
On Fridays, it's usually a quiet morning for me, and after everybody goes, I get my coffee. I'm still in my pajamas, and I just go out and water my plants. I give them basically just kind of like a glass of water. Basically, I try not to overwater them because I've killed a few with rot.
Yeah. And
once a week, I water them. Now, if it's been super hot or super dry, obviously, you can touch the dirt and feel if it's still moist, you don't need it. Yeah. If it's kind of loose, and then it needs a little more. But I just go around and I just look at them and I water them. Sometimes I do talk to them. And I trim them if there's little dead ends or I even arrange them. Sometimes they're all kind of lopsided and I, kind of like I do with the plant. Though it looks good. Honestly, sometimes plants don't know they look weird. And so For me, it's kind of like nurturing something that you don't really have to think so much about. They always give you something.
Yeah.
All you got to do really is give them a little water.
Yeah.
I pamper mine more with light because I have a limited space. And so, especially in the wintertime. Now, in the wintertime, they're all inside. Now, in the spring and summer, I put them out on my porch, which only gets direct sunlight half the day and on half of the space. So outside, once my plants are ready to come out and it's not going to be cold, I have one of those racks. I have like a 3-tier, and it's kind of like a corner in the corner. So I put my my littlest ones on tops and arrange them. And I just kind of like make it so it looks the way I like it. And I put a chair on the other side where I can look at them and say, hey, you look good. I think they need a little something like everybody else. They're trying to live their best life.
Except in my house.
In
my house it's sort of going the other way. But you said you are a plant saver. That you take.
They brought me plants to save.
Yeah.
Some have made it, some have not.
Yeah.
Most of them have. I mean, these days it's not really hard to look up something.
Right.
When I started with these plants, there was no internet. So, I had a lot of guessing. My husband had a little prior knowledge. He worked in a nursery for a while, so he knew that you don't have to baby them. They're made to survive. They appreciate whatever you can do to help them out, but they're made to survive. Light is the main thing. So I was saying that in the wintertime, because they get weak light, even though they're in the same place, what I do is like halfway through the week, I just give them a half a turn to make sure that they're getting light on all sides.
That's smart.
Yeah. And then when I water them again at the end of the week, I give them another turn. So, I kind of rotate. If it's been dim, I take the ones and put them directly in front of the window, but not in direct sunlight. So, and then I just, when I'm using the table, I just put them back on their place. But I don't know, they're my companions.
I like
where I come from, it's green all the time. And
tell them.
I'm from the tropics. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I've been here a long time, but still, in my space, I always like having green, because it just feels very, what's the word? Just very, not unnatural, but things are very constructed, very artificial.
Yeah.
And when you bring plants in the room, it brings the outdoors, brings like a freshness. A plant can be a decoration, and a pretty one that changes with the seasons and everything. I decorate my plants for my plants for Christmas too.
I love that.
Sometimes,
That's good.
There have been times where the corn plant has been the Christmas tree.
I love it.
So I really like them. They're like my companions that they don't take a lot of work, and
they don't take anything else.
I can do whatever I want with them. They always reward me. Every flower is just like a little.
Yeah.
It's just like a little miracle. It's really sweet. And when they get thick, I divide them and start a new plant, or I usually divide them and give one part away. And there are plants that when you divide them, they do even better because you give them room to expand. So one of my favorite ones, which I don't even know the name of it.
No, that's okay. Describe it.
And it just kept blooming over the winter, which I thought it was unusual. And that's why I babied it. I turned it. Every time I had a flower, I made sure I had all the light it needed, So if you just give them a little something, they will pay you back very, very well.
I'm so glad you said that about turning it, because what I
They
thought
get lopsided.
what I was thinking you were going to say, and I was kind of like, was you have to buy a fancy light, you have to put everything, whatever.
Just
but when you said that, I'm like, that's doable.
No.
That is
There's no
perfect.
need for that. I mean, even if it's, Even sometimes if I'm away for the day, I'll just put them all in front of the window, and when I come back, I'll just put them back because I know it's not gonna bother anybody.
Yeah,
it's gonna benefit the plants, and then I'll just put them back. They'll be happy. They show it.
Do you trust people to take care of your plants when you're away? Or is it a control? Is it a scary thing?
It isn't because all they really need is very little.
Okay.
You know, and if I'm going away, I make sure I take care of them first.
Yeah.
You know, and they're good. You know, I'm never away long enough for my plants to be in trouble. No, and then I take them out in the winter, spring. I try to wait after the pollen is done, but sometimes I can't because it's just so nice and I want them to be out there. Right. And I also, when I take the plants out, then I have the chance to sit outside and admire them, and it just enhances that space that you can't use in the wintertime. So, but sometimes I take them out before the pollen and they get all nasty and yellow and stuff, and so all I do is, once I'm ready to bring them back in, or the pollen is gone and I clean everything, just put them in the shower and give them.
That's a good idea.
Give a hose down with your shower head.
That's
everything.
Smart.
Let them drain really well. Shake them off and just let them dry. You know, like over the day, and then you can take them out. They're fresh. They're clean. You don't have to wipe little leaves or anything, and it refreshes. It's like rain. They love it better than a regular, because every leaf gets wet.
Do you dust your plants?
It depends. I have like some monsteras that have really big leaves.
Yeah.
And they're waxy, they're shiny, and over the winter, they suffer because they don't really get what they need. Those plants really need to be outside or as close as possible. So I have them in a room that gets light all the time, all day long. But it's filtered light. And I do wipe them down when they get dirty.
What do you wipe them with?
Sometimes it depends. If it's just real quick, I just wipe them with a little bit of water. But if I want to make them fancy, I use mayo or olive oil or mayo.
Does it ever get a smell?
No, because you don't smear it.
Oh.
You just. You just take like a little rag with mayo.
Right? I need an explanation.
I mean, it's like you're dusting the plant, but instead of using the dusting stuff, you just use a little mayo, and it wipes it clean, and it leaves a little nice shine on it.
That's good.
Or oil, anything that's really organic.
Right.
So so that works well. And showering them, and also if you go on a trip, you can very well do that and put them in the tub,
right,
and rinse them down really, really well, and just leave the light on, for the time that you're there.
Do you worry about your cats getting them, or do they just learn?
The cats I've had don't really mess with the plants.
Okay.
Now the one I have now likes to dig in the dirt, and for the lower plants, that are tall, like the corn plants. And what I've done with that is I put what are they called? Pine cones. Because pine cones have those little teeny tiny needles on the end.
That's smart.
And then when he starts to try to paw at it, it pricks his pads, and he doesn't mess with it.
See, this is the kind of stuff they don't tell you in books. They don't tell you this. I mean,
well, I just kind of figured it out.
This is why we're doing this. It's because everybody's got something that works.
Well, it started at Christmas time because I like to decorate my plants, like I said. Depending on the size of the plant, I'll put like little decorations on them, like little tiny poinsettias or a little tiny ornament. And then on the bottom, I might just put Christmas ornaments on the bottom to just kind of dress them up.
Right.
And when the cat, when it's not Christmas and the cat starts digging on that dirt, I figured at Christmas time I had used pine cones and ornaments. I took the ornaments and the pine cones stayed, and I figured out by touching them, it's like, oh, if I put this all over, then he won't dig. And I went and got some more, and I put them all there, and he doesn't dig on that anymore. And they also help contain the moisture in the dirt, because it's like mulch in pine cones, and so it helps. I dress up my plants, honestly. If I have like,
I love
for example, I like tropical plants, tropical flowers.
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes I buy the fake flowers, and I just decorate my plant with it.
I love that.
Some people they get tricked.
Yeah.
They get tricked because you have a natural plant,
Yeah.
and then you stick a couple of flowers, fake flowers on it, and they're like, "Oh my God, did you get it to bloom?" And I'm like, "That's easy." You go to the dollar store, and you bloom them.
That is the best. So you do it on your inside, I do it on my
I
outside.
do it on the inside, because I like the tropical stuff, and so I buy a couple of tropical flowers, and I stick them on the bottom, or to prop up like that pathos, and sometimes get really stringy. Yeah. So
That's awesome. Best trick. Here, put your hand up.
Hey.
Thank you, Gladys, for doing this. Thank you
welcome.
guys for joining us. I hope the pine cone trick works. I hope all the good advice works. And I hope everybody feels confident and just giving it a whirl.
They're meant to survive.
Have a great day, everybody. Oh, and by the way, let me just show you before we go. Here's
Somebody
Pouty
finally
Mavis.
settled down, gave it up.
Yes, she's gonna be fine. See you next
Bye.
Friday. Bye.